Welcome back from the break. It's still the AM Club coming to you live from the MX24 studios, Oleander Streets, East Legon, Accra, Ghana. It's now time for Coffee Daily. We're going to be looking at what is trending. Before we get into that, let's talk about something we all want, and that is success. We all want it. Everybody wants it. Everybody dreams of it. We all aspire to succeed and make a mark in life. We push ourselves to excel, enduring challenges along the way just to be successful. When work gets tough, and I bet it will, you need that extra boost to keep pushing forward. And on those days where you need somebody to be there for you, Cowboy Coffee will be there by your side. It's a rich, creamy 3-in-1 blend with a great taste and aroma that would aid kickstart your day. So whether you're working or just creating beautiful memories with friends and loved ones, Cowboy Coffee will be there with you every single moment. So no matter where you're at, as you chase after those goals, Coffee close to stay motivated and going. Remember, Cowboy Coffee is with you every single moment. Now let's check what's trending on X.
We to see what's trending. SONA 2025, of course, trending the State of the Nation address. We're expecting the president to give his... People are saying this is not his first because he's been, in power before and now he's back. But this is a new government, totally. So, well, Onana is trending when it comes to sports. Bongo is trending. Yesterday we saw that he was trending, but he's been slapped with some lawsuit from Kojo Forex too as well. Ipswich is trending. Central is trending. Dogo is trending. Rex trending. Afenyo is trending. Endrick is trending. Hallelujah Challenge still trending. John DeMello still trending. Dallo, Jet Li, Emmanuel Ankra, Supreme Court, yes, is trending. Rex Omar trending. Atletico's trending. Diaspora Affairs trending. Abeku Santana trending. Jose trending, and then Gavi trending. So first of all, let's get to see what people were saying with the SONA 2025. Yes, so hashtag for today, hashtag 2025. We should expect the president, yes. Ziggyman says, I'll be very glad to hear not less than 50% increment on betting tax today. Okay. He's also saying abolition of the e-levy. So everybody's putting hashtag SONA. Rashid Obolo said the usual rhetorics, blame games, comic statements, complaints, and a justification of 60 billion cedis borrowed without any work to show. Wait a minute. Some, okay, will come under my comments to rant. With his DP already, we know where he stands. GTV Ghana says President John Mahama shall present the State of the Nation address today from the Parliament of Ghana on all our TV, radio, and digital platforms. Okay. Kali J says some of the things you guys are expecting come in the budget reading by the finance minister, so don't stress. Okay. President Mahama. Okay, so I really just wanted to get into what people are expecting, but it looks like all this is just more of like an announcement as to the State of the Nation address. Let me see if it's the same here too as well. Okay, pretty much the same. All right, so Laurentia Adjua Juwonu says, my experience as a first-time MP has been very positive, and I'm taking the work one day at a time. This Thursday marks the first State of the Nation address by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and I expect the President to present the true state of the nation. What are your expectations for this address?
I think generally where we are at in terms of finances, our energy sector is what I'm looking at he's speaking about. Done so far. Really, we've heard what the problem is. I don't think Ghanaians' problem is. We want to hear, and the theme for the address is the state of the nation. So you would definitely hear what is happening so far, and then later you would hear what the solutions are. I know a lot of people are looking at hearing about the taxes. Note that he's not supposed to talk about whether or not he wants to abolish the taxes now. He is going to be talking about the state of the nation. Ever since they took over from 7th of December or 7th of January, what the state of the nation has been, and maybe at some point in his presentation he wouldn't touch on what they intend doing. So yes, I want to see something from. We've been hearing pockets of conversations which highlights what the problems could potentially be when it comes to our energy sector. But if you want to hear something finance, I want to hear something from there, and then maybe on the educational aspect, what the free SHS, situation, or free SHS policy that is already ongoing, and then hopefully hear from him what he intends doing. Health sector as well, I want to hear something from there, what the issues are, and then hopefully he has solutions that he would want to share with us. So yes, those are the areas I'm looking at.
All right, you might as well also let us know, it's MX24GH on X. Let us know what are your expectations for the SONA 2025. The president is going to be addressing the nation as to when he took over, how the nation was, or the state of the nation, and what he plans to do for us as well, and help with the development of the country. All right.
You want to touch on the Bongo ideas and Kojo Forex?
Yes.
So I think Kojo Forex sued him a couple of months ago. Yeah, and that the verdict of that suit is what we're seeing right now. Really is Bongo ideas going to have the money to pay, and what it means is that usually when these verdicts are out, it's either you pay the money or go to jail. So
I hear he's doing a GoFundMe.
Who's going to be paying that money?
Well, people who.
It will shock you that Bongo ideas has friends.
No, he does. He does.
It will amaze you.
It was alleged some time ago, because people were asking, how does this guy have those times, when he did come through and he was bashing people left, right, center. People were asking, hey, how does this guy get the courage to, do certain things or say certain things? So it was alleged that he was being financed by some people behind the scenes. So let's say maybe who knows, all these financiers will come to him. But this one is not even GoFundMe. He just put his Momo out there and was like, people should, You
see, I tell you, whatever is wrong with this guy, serious, though. It's very, very serious. I see, like, the impact of what he does. I don't see. I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday, and someone says, there's something fundamentally wrong with this guy. And you people are not looking at it from the mental aspect, because this guy, he seems to be going through a lot. To be coming for people that you can never be on their position, at least just yet, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Anyways, Supreme Court is trending, so let's get into the Kweku Asante says there's, so the 1957 Supreme Court Justice William Atuguba spotted with Deputy Minister Designate for the Minister of Justice, Justice Shremsai, following his vetting. Okay, so, and we all... So yesterday also the minority, as part of the vetting, the minority caucus, as part of the vetting of the deputy ministers, also decided to walk away. I mean, when the deputy minister designate for the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Justice Shremsai, was being vetted, and you saw that, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, All right, Tilly Ekuya Nipa says Napo's selection as running mate negatively impacted the MPP fortunes in 2024 elections, KNUST research reveals. And then two, President John Dramani Mahama appoints 12-member Bank of Ghana board. Supreme Court blocks Koforidua High Court's sentencing of Ernest Kumi. And then minority rejects Shemsai Suhuyini nominations, boycotts vetting after heated exchange between Afenyo Markin and Chairman Bernard Ahiafo. Mabeku Agri Santana appointed Deputy CEO of Ghana Tourism Authority. Your thoughts on this? You saw it yesterday.
It's a call in the right direction. Abeku's appointment couldn't have been in any other sector. He's passionate about tourism. He has put in the work. People have seen what he has done in the past, and yesterday he just woke up today, and because he's a media personality, they put him there.
Yeah.
He has been working. He has been promoting Ghanaian tourism, and even Ghanaians going out of this space to experience other cultures. And so for me, it's a call in the right direction. The only person I'm worried about is Rex Omar. I honestly don't know what that appointment is about. I don't know how someone who has constantly shown ineffectiveness in a sector be put in a place like that, a place as serious as that. KOD's appointment, perfect appointment. Perfect appointment. I could not have asked for anybody else in that space. Again, I go back to that. I still am worried about that because we are still in court with Gamro. We've seen his comments on creative art. They're always very, 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 very shabby, just throwing words at us. Every time it's almost as if, deal with me, and that posture for me is not the best. These other two though, however, Abeku Santana and KOD have been very consistent in promoting a certain course, and they have been at work since. I'm pretty sure they never thought that this day was going to come, but they put in the work because they knew and believed in the sector. And so for me, I wish them all the very best. Hopefully, Rex Omar is able to show us something different.
Yeah. I think there was a debate also on social media with regards to Rex Omar's appointment, and people were asking questions as to what the Black Excellence stands for. So,
it was supposed to be an event that was supposed to promote Ghanaian tourism.
Yeah. And
so, if he's going to be leading that team, I honestly would have put someone like a George Quay in that space. I would have put someone like a KKD in that space, right? Even Mr. Simons, because when Mr. Simons took over Musica, he was probably, and I stand to be corrected, but the first president of Musica that I'd seen put together an active event that will put the young and new crops of artists on a platform that they are able to experience, the big stages like the big ones, to help them or to push them into that space of, the big arts, right? And so for me, just this one initiative tells me that with more, he will be able to give, the creative art, especially the music space, a lift, like a facelift. Rex Omar, no man, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Are we going to compare the Black Excellence to
Year of Return?
Year of Return.
You see, that's the standard Year of Return has created. If we're not able to match up to that or go beyond that, in fact, the goal is to go beyond that because we're moving forward. Worst case scenario, we're able to maintain the same momentum Year of Return brought. If we're not able to do that, then our worries are valid. So he has work to do. This is not time for English. This is not time for CC wine. This is time to work. He really honestly cannot fail at this because one is the first of its kind with that name. When Year of Return came, we saw, and when they start accounting for how much this country made out of Year of Return, which by the way, again, we don't know where the money went to, but again, we did see how much, what impact Year of Return did, how much impact it had on this country. People who had never heard of Ghana showing up in Ghana, people meeting their ancestral roots, creating a certain bond between the people in the diaspora and the locals of Ghana was a great initiative. The Black Excellence, what is Rex Oman going to do with it? Right? How is he going to drive this thing to push another face of giving Ghana that tourism look, or put us at the forefront of tourism when it comes to tourism on the global scale? And so, really and truly, he has work to do. It's not time to kind of be speaking English that you will not understand.
He does have work to do, and well, someone would also say,
I'm super excited for KOD and Abeku Santana. They have been doing this for years, and I wish them all the very. Honestly, the devil cannot stop them. In fact, they have to win at this thing. They don't have a choice. They have to win.
They have to.
They have to win.
All right. So a lot of congratulatory messages online. Renowned broadcaster and tourism advocate Abeku Santana, and I love this tourism advocate because we know he's been doing
Mr.
this.
Tourism.
Mr. Tourism. Everybody calls him Mr. Tourism. Has been appointed as a deputy chief executive officer, CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority. So that is why Abeku Santana is trending. So yeah.
He's going to be supporting Mami Ifawajitu. Now, then we're not going to be seeing chocolate on table again. We're going to see actual impact. Yeah.
You just had to bring that
in.
Nice. Okay. Then diaspora affairs too as well.
Yeah,
so
please.
That would have to do with KOD.
Yes,
so Kofi
please.
Ochidako, better known as KOD, has been named the presidential advisor on diaspora affairs to enhance ties with the Ghanaian diaspora and leverage their contributions for the country's development. I'm pretty sure now that, you know, the people that were coming into Ghana, as far as diaspora is concerned, we might see a double and triple of that.
And hopefully we're not going to see creatives at the seat of the presidency shooting music video. Hopefully we're not going to see that. And I know he knows better because he's probably one of the few people. Did he condemn that act? I think he did, because I'm sure he should.
Okay. I don't know for a fact whether he did.
He did, but yeah, I'm going to look for whatever tweets that people that spoke on that issue. If he added his voice. But he's a better fit for that space. Honestly, I couldn't have asked for anybody else. I really couldn't have asked for anybody else.
All right, so Bola says, I hate this position so much. What is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs doing that they can't handle diaspora affairs?
True, actually.
Yeah.
You know that department was created in the Israel government, right? And the individual that was put there at the time, that's Madam Nadia.
Okay.
People don't know her for that. All they knew was that she didn't used to live in Ghana.
Okay.
I think she was living in Canada also.
Okay.
And so she has that connect with the people out there. But she was able to bring into the country names and brands that we could have only seen on television or whatever. But that was just about it. If you ask me what the impact of their coming here was, one of the things that I would have said was that it gave Ghana a certain look on the international scene. So people who didn't know that Ghana was a country, once Chance the Rapper was here, people knew about it. McMill was here. People started, because again, it generated a conversation. People started hearing about Ghana. People started saying they wanted to be in Ghana. Investments in terms of, you know, I mean, I think it was about it. Okay, Michael Black used to come to Ghana before that.
Rick Ross says he wants to invest here.
Do you understand? Yeah. And that could have been...
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey was in Ghana for the year of return, went to the Cape Coast Castle, and he and his people went to cry over there. I mean, we saw all of these things, right? And so, and it gave Ghana that representation on the map. However, that's all we saw. Someone, maybe an economist will see a different angle of this, a creator will see a different angle of this. I think she did her best. I think she did her best. And I think since that aspect of that position has been introduced into our governance, maybe it should be clearly defined. Whether its association to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is, whether they have some similar job to do, and if they have similar job to do, it just be merged with it, and then it will be a department under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, right? It would just be under that, and so again, we would need someone to represent that. Or if the responsibilities of the lead at the Diaspora Affairs is different, let it be clearly defined. If the Diaspora Affairs person is supposed to bring people into this country, create a stronger bond between creatives, because that's what we saw the entire time. Creatives coming into the country and creating a buzz around it. That's what we saw with her tenure. And so, really and truly...
What did you say her name was again?
Nadia. I think Madame Nadia, I don't know.
So what was Job's... When I say job, Jake Obembe-Diakon, because I also thought that he was in charge of, the diaspora at the that's the ex-government. And why are you looking like you don't know who I'm talking about?
No. Oh, Jake. Yes. So Jake was part of her team.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. It sounds like Jake. Why does the name sound familiar? Yes.
Okay. All right. So Roland A says most people don't know the MPP had presidential staffer for diaspora affairs. Jake Obembe-Diakon was the presidential staffer. All right. Smile comes to reply, says Jake was also youth ambassador for diaspora affairs, so his antics brought fire and criticism to the whole diaspora office. It was slated as useless. Then I doubt you corrected them. So now to behave as if he was not related to diaspora affairs, that's disingenuous. Okay. But well, congratulations to KOD. Congratulations to Abeku Santana. I mean, these are people that in our space, I mean, anytime we get to approach them or you get to meet them, they're so lively. They'll meet you with arms and everything. I'm just hoping that it would continue the same way. Although, yes, of course, I mean, they are in positions now and some restrictions, some boundaries here and there. But hey, before some people start coming back on X, hey, as they say, the Omania post in TC.
No, they are not.
Yes.
And
okay.
Oh, my very own.
I think it's still going to be. I don't know. The two of them. Do they have?
There's a little bit of friction there, but I can understand. So let me try to defend my sweetheart.
Why are you defending him?
Let me see if I can defend him. If I'm not able to defend him,
okay, try your best.
So he asked on a very, very light note. First of all, let's start from this place. Where George, Mr. Doku cried the first name today, said, how can you had a creative in front of you the day before. You didn't ask him to dance. How can you be asking someone who has nothing to do with the creative art or the entertainment space to dance, right? And that was on a lighter note. Let's talk about context, right? He didn't just say, sorry, Nessa. He said, oh, if you are mentioning that there's another dance apart from Agbaja and Bobobo, let me see how it is done. On a very, very light note, I think that would have been taken easy and, they would have had fun as they've been having the past couple of, hours because they only had one day fun in that place. I think, Chairman Ahiafo could have easily allowed this to pass. I don't think it was from a derogatory point or he was trying to, stress the guy. I think he really just was trying to have a light conversation in the room. And for him to have been, thrown out like that for me was a bit, too hard.
So you realize that for some days we haven't seen chairman himself.
Yes.
So, and the position of Honorable Afenyo was more like, oh, he's so, and whoever was in the seat, I don't know, I beg your pardon, I don't know his name, but it looked like, oh, there was a free kind of flow, although there were some interjections here and there. But you realize that whoever was the chairman at that point was much more a bit liberal, you know, yeah. So then chairman comes in and all of a sudden there's friction. So I don't know whether the two, whether it's kind of.
If I was a Afenyo Marcus, I wouldn't be, I was going to say a bad word, but I wouldn't be, you know, dealing with chairman as much, you know, because chairman snitched on him the last time. Chairman is snitching on Afenyo Marcus too much. Because the other day he came to tell us that, you know, Afenyo Marcus, Honorable Afenyo Marcus told him confidentially that his party was you know, stressing him, and that's why he brought so much fire to the vetting committee. That was confidential. That wasn't public knowledge. It wasn't supposed to be known by the public. So if someone like this snitch on me like that, me then you got a problem. We got problem. So maybe that's where it's coming from. I'm just assuming.
So it looks like these two. There's a whole lot going on.
They'll be fine. After
I know they'll
vetting,
definitely be fine. Now, as for fine, yeah, they'll be fine. But
after the vetting, it'll be okay.
We just realized to withdraw or not to withdraw, because Honorable Afenyo Marcus is chairman. I will not withdraw. Chairman, I will not withdraw. And that was how chairman also said that to prove to you that I am the chairman of this committee, that is your last question. And then they packed their bags and packed their books and decided to leave.
Because if that's my last question, what am I going to do?
What am I even doing at the same time?
Anywho, we're not fighting Afenyo Marcus this morning. We have quite a number of stories. We're going to get into that pretty shortly. And Augustine Kobe to say it will take us through that.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest Broken Pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX4, fun, fearless, and factual.
Today, the 7th of February 2025. Good morning and welcome to the Morning News on the AM Club. My name is Augustine Edem Kobitisane. Today is one of the biggest days in the history of Ghana. Why? Because President John Dramani Mahama will deliver his first State of the Nation address in his second term as President of the Republic of Ghana. High expectations, but, well, we want to stay glued to MX24 because we're bringing you updates. Mimi and Jay, you've already gone through some of the comments. People are saying on social media, it's quite mixed reactions, a lot of expectations from him as well. Already we have seen TUC and some other, organizations put out statements calling for setting requirements or raising certain concerns, expecting the president to answer ahead of his statement reading. We don't know how it's going to turn, whether he's going to address those issues, but yeah.
So I think we've gone through different zones in this country, but it's still, there's still a lot of education that needs to be, given with regards to the state of the nation. He's not coming to tell us what he has done. He literally is coming to tell us the state of the nation. So what is happening, what they have done so far. He's been in office for how many months? 3 months? Yeah. January, February. He's still in February. So 2 months, only 2 months. So he's going to tell us what he has inherited. So subsequently, you will now hear things like if he addresses us in December, which by the way is too far, but
I'm sure there'll be
subsequent,
them, yeah.
maybe 6 months, or I've forgotten the. But if he's to address us in the next 6 months, he will now tell us what they have done since January to June, right? But that's all he's telling us today is what they have inherited.
Right.
What the country looks like now as of 2025, right? So he's not going to take, he might tell us if he wants to say anything about the e-levy, he might have to tell us what the e-levy has done in the past. If he's telling us about education, free SHS, what free SHS looks like now. If he's talking about the energy sector, he's telling us what is happening with the energy sector now, right? True. He's not going to tell us solutions, but if he asks, is he being proactive?
Right.
Right? So if you listen to previous governments, when they're addressing the nation, they're telling us, so in the past, we've spent 58 million for the cathedral, and the cathedral will be up at this point, right? So these are the expectations. So I think I saw one of the, either Khaliji or one of the posts on social media saying that some of the expectations you people have of this government or of the president are going to be given you by the finance minister.
True.
If you want to see the budget allocation for this year, it's going to come from the finance minister. If you want to see what e-levy looks like, it's going to come from there because they might have gone over some of the documents that you see. So I think this education should go a bit further, or we're not listening. Maybe a lot of platforms are saying it, but we're not listening.
Right.
He's come to tell us the state of the nation. And that is why it's called the State of the Nation Address. So expectations should be in those lines, and it will help us. At least we deserve to know what we're dealing with, to be handling. So if they tell us that they inherited 10 Ghana cedis, we know 10 Ghana cedis pay full money. If you don't give us full money, we have problem with you.
Right.
Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So I think that education should go forward. But anyway,
let's get into our stories for this morning. So you've gone through a couple of them. What happened at committee vetting yesterday, Afenyo Marking, Bernard Ahiafo, and Justice Sirimsai, the standoff between these three persons, all because Afenyo Marking posed a question. Bernard Ahiafo thought it was, way too extreme. Then the minority...
In your opinion, was it extreme?
I mean, it was a question.
We was really, I think, when I look at it...
Probably where Bernard Ahiafo saw a problem was the fact that he asked him to demonstrate the dance.
What is wrong with that?
But
since we're all asking silly questions, let's just ask. Since we permitted so much...
That was where Bernard felt there was a problem. I mean, he's a deputy minister designate for Attorney General and Justice. You cannot ask him to come and you know how social media can take some of these issues. We might go and cut it out.
What if the minister designate did demonstrate the dance?
Okay. I'm sure
maybe he wasn't even given the chance to. I beg your pardon, I didn't watch.
Right.
But maybe he wasn't even given the chance to. But what if he had done it? What would have happened?
I'm sure the narrative would have been different.
I think Chairman stepped in a bit too early.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he was looking at it from this is pun intended. This guy just wants to misbehave.
Yeah.
I think that's where he saw it from, and so he had to step in as soon as possible. But I think if he saw the light of it, because I mean, vetting we're also learning from this vetting process. So if the guy says, "Oh, this is how you do it," this is how you do it, it brings the light of everything, takes away the tension. Everybody is fine. Nobody feels like they're disrespected. I think that whatever tension there is between these two, they need to sort it out. I was just saying earlier that, listen, maybe that snitching his snitch on Afenyo Market is still lingering around. And I mean, considering he was the one who was snitched on, how is it that he's the one? Charlie, let's go. Right?
Let's get into our stories for this morning and start off with President John Dramani Mahama deliver his first State of the Nation address today, Thursday, February 27, 2025, in Parliament. Now, the highly anticipated address is expected to outline his administration's key policies, economic plans, government priorities, as well as the true state of the nation. Now, Ghanaians are looking forward to his vision for addressing pressing issues such as economic stability, job creation, infrastructure development, and national unity. Now, earlier stakeholders, including the Trade Union Congress, TUC, and business leaders have already set expectations for the speech, calling for concrete measures to tackle the rising cost of living, unemployment, and wage disparities. President Mahama will also serve, his address will also serve as an opportunity to provide clarity on the government's resetting agenda and its approach to revitalizing key sectors of the economy. Now, ahead of the State of the Nation address today, the minority members of parliament are calling on the President, John Dramani Mahama, to be truthful about the country he inherited from the NPP government led by former President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, while delivering his State of the Nation address to the country. Now, they spoke to the media after proceedings yesterday. Take a listen.
We have a huge unemployment rate in this country. I'm sure he's going to address that, not because he inherited that, but because he's creating that through his chief of staff. He signed a letter terminating and revoking the appointment of young Ghanaians that have been appointed into various state institutions. The directive was poor, was bad, was malicious. That is my view about that. In the same vein that the same chief of staff signed letters for people on the 19th of December, employing them even to the highest level of governance in this country. He employed the Shraj boss way in December, the NCCE boss way in December. The Auditor General was on the 19th of December. That is one of the highest positions in this country. Now we have a huge unemployment rate. You can see the TUC's letter admonishing him to rescind that decision that he's made. I'm sure, maybe, probably, tomorrow, I'm expecting that he speaks to that. Rescinding that decision that he's made. I think that I'll be glad on that.
Economy that was criminally mismanaged was able to give Ghanaians children free secondary education. Economy that was criminally mismanaged was able to pay allowances to nurses and teachers. Economy that was criminally mismanaged was able to give some infrastructure. Economy that was criminally mismanaged gave us electricity 24/7. So we want the president to come and tell us the economy that was criminally mismanaged. Again, economy that was criminally mismanaged was able to increase pay, base pay of workers 30%, even some 40%, and then he has done 10%. We expect him to come and tell us that economy, which was criminally mismanaged. So it's going to be interesting. And my colleague has spoken at length about people being kicked out of work. Economy that again was criminally mismanaged was able to put people to work and pay them. Now you are sacking them. We are yet to see what it's going to be.
His Excellency would not continue on that, looking back all the time. He's been in power for close to two months. His energy minister told us that they've been able to procure alternative fuel and that we expect the lights to be on. I think they should focus on that rather than continuously blaming the previous government. The reality now is that there is some intermittent power outages. I'm on record to have said that they need some time to settle down. My attitude is that we allow them some time, some leverage before we begin to criticize. But I hope that tomorrow he'll be forward-looking with his statements and not going back, blaming people here and there. I mean, the result of the election was very clear that the Ghanaians were displeased with the governance of Nana Addo Akufo-Addo and the NPP, my government. And that is why they got an overwhelming result. I think you should keep that goodwill and look forward to rather professing solutions rather than going back to issues. So I wish him well tomorrow. I'll be here to listen to him. I anticipate that, yes, he'll give us some breakdown of how the economy...
Now, those were some members of the minority caucus, the MPP party in Parliament, to be precise, sharing their expectations ahead of the President's reading of the State of the Nation address today. Well, some of them are hopeful that, he outlines the true state of the nation inherited by his administration. Also, they're expectant that the penchant of, addressing and blaming certain people for certain things would not happen. We hope to see what the future holds for Ghana. But then that is not all. Some members of the majority have also expressed confidence that President Mahama will offer hope and concrete his vision for the resetting Ghana agenda.
Great expectations, which borders on how Ghana is going to roll into the future to reset, as he himself has touted so far. And we expect to see the hopes of Ghanaians renewed towards things that are in our manifesto in the area of education, health, agribusiness, etc., etc. So high expectations that we will see all these areas touched on in terms of programs that will be rolled out to actually bring back a lot of enthusiasm, particularly jobs for the youth.
I'll be expecting the state of the nation, and the State of the Nation address and the President addressing that issue. Again, my other expectation is that the true state that we inherited as the majority will be reflected tomorrow, because we know that His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa, just before he was exiting office, gave us a State of the Nation and told us that Ghana is not broke. There's so much that he has left for us. But tomorrow, I believe, by the time we hear the true state of the nation, indeed, we will know where.
Now, those were also some members of the caucus, that's the NDC, that's the ruling government's party in Parliament, expressing hope and confidence in the President's State of the Nation's address, as well as, establishing that the President will use that platform or the platform of the State of the Nation address to make his vision for resetting Ghana more concrete and understandable for all. But now let's still stay in Parliament, but do some vetting, where the minority in Parliament rejected the nomination of Deputy Attorney General and Justice Minister-designate Justice Serim Sai, following a disagreement with the chairman of the Appointments Committee, Bernard Ahiafo. Now, the dispute arose when Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin requested Serim Sai to demonstrate a traditional dance, a move the chairman vehemently opposed. Now, taking offense, Afenyo-Markin described the chairman's stance as whimsical and claimed that he rudely interrupted, indicating unfair treatment toward the minority. After a 10-minute suspension of the vetting process, the minority returned and declared their rejection of Serim Sai's nomination. Let's go to committee room and take a listen to Afenyo-Markin.
In abruptly ending the nominee for the office of Deputy Attorney General, on ground that I refused to withdraw my dissatisfaction of your ruling by using the word that you acted whimsical and capricious. I again added that you rudely made those expressions. We do not think that in the spirit of cooperation, you should put up such a posture. Chairman, the caucus has observed that in this afternoon's proceedings, Honorable Ahmed Jerry Shaib was the first to experience an unfair treatment at your hand. When it got to me, the leader of the caucus, there were all manner of interruptions, including an interruption by the Attorney General himself, of which you curiously said you never heard. Again, the majority chief whip came in interrupting, though not into the mic. It was aimed at obstructing the smooth process of my vetting of the nominee. Eventually, you allowed him to ask a so-called follow-up question. Chairman, we've long assured the majority of our cooperation, but not when such a posture is coming from the chair. We would respect you, but where you are acting in excess of discretion would express it. We've smooth vetting since Monday in an atmosphere of mutual respect, in a very humorous atmosphere, and all nominees that appeared before us on those 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, we approved them by consensus. Without more, let me conclude as follows. That one, the minority caucus hereby rejects the nomination of the Deputy Attorney General, and that the decision of it would be solely yours as a majority caucus. For today, all other nominees, in furtherance of our protests,
So that was Alexander Afenyo Marking of the Minority Caucus in rejecting the approval of the Minister Designate for the Attorney General and Justice, Justice Srimsai, I beg your pardon, appearing before the committee yesterday. Now, meanwhile, the Majority Caucus on the Appointments Committee has recommended the approval of all 4 deputy ministers or deputy minister nominees vetted on Wednesday, February 26, 2025, despite the absence of the Minority Caucus during the decision-making process. Now, the Majority Caucus proceeded with its recommendation to approve the following nominees: Yusuf Sulemana, the Deputy Minister Designate for Lands and Natural Resources; Justice Srimsai, the Deputy Minister Designate for Justice and Attorney General; Alhassan Shaibu Suhini, Deputy Minister Designate for Roads and Highways; Yusuf Isaac Ajaja, the Deputy Minister Designate for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. Away from that, let's do election, where it's been 82 days since the December 7 election. Now, after the declaration of results, some constituencies did not go down without some legal battles. Now, one constituencies is the Ablekuma North constituency, who till today have no legal representation in Parliament. The Electoral Commission Chairperson Jean Mensah has assured the public that the parliamentary impasse in the Ablekuma North constituency will soon be resolved. She spoke to the media yesterday. Take a listen.
We will bring the 2 candidates and their parties together and we'll have a meeting to discuss it. I'd like to just place on record that collation was done in the presence of your agents. Your party was written to and you participated. So it was not done on your right side. However, as I mentioned, we will have an in-depth meeting to discuss it. It's important to note that it was not, the question is being created that it was done.
Now, that was the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Madame Jean Mensah, stating that, you know, the results of the Ablekuma North constituency election will be declared soon. Now, we know that Irabna Ob on the ticket of the NDC and Akosia Free, who also contested on the ticket of the MPP, have still, well, some declaration has not been made as to who the winner of the election is. We know that Owusu Free was declared winner. However, Irabna Obing, together with the NDC, proceeded to the court to seek an injunction against her declaration. We know some recollation occurred 82 days down the line. The story still continues. Trust MX24 to keep you updated on this, and as and when the Electoral Commission declares who the actual winner of the election is, because we know both of them have declared themselves winners. We've seen some billboards and posters congratulating the constituents for their victories in their constituency, which is very interesting to note, but we would bring you updates with regards to the development of the story. Now, away from that, a raging fire at the Bush Canteen of the University of Ghana, Ologo in Accra, on Wednesday has destroyed properties running into thousands of cities. Now, according to sources, the fire was as a result of a gas explosion. However, no lives have been lost. Videos circulating on social media show that the explosion triggered a rapid spread of flames, sending thick fumes of smoke into the sky. As at last night, firefighters had arrived at the scene and were currently and are still currently on grounds working to bring the situation under control and prevent further distraction, with authorities yet to confirm the cause of the blaze. On your screens now are some videos circulating on social media from the explosion that resulted in the destruction of some shops in and around the Bush Canteen area of the University of Ghana campus here in Accra. So there you see it, some fumes emanating from the alleged source, probably one of the eateries on campus where a gas explosion erupted. We do not know exactly if it is a gas explosion according to what sources are saying. We hope to hear from the school as well as the Ghana National Fire Service, who were on grounds to douse the fire. Now let's do education and some food-related issues, where food research scientists at the Department of Food Science and Technology of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology have detected a harmful banned substance in some tomato paste sold on Ghanaian markets. Now, a study by food scientists from the KNUST on tomato paste sold in Ghana found some traces of both starch and erythrocin in some samples. The substance, erythrocin, also known as red dye number 3, is used as a colorant in various foods, including toffees, candies, and drinks. It may be labeled and appear on these products as number 3. However, the Ghana Foods and Drugs Authority does not permit the substance to be used in the production of tomato paste. This is because erythrocin has been found to cause various health conditions and is not allowed in the production of tomato paste. Now, the research led by Dr. Abena Boache of the Department of Food Science and Technology of the university urged the Ghana Food and Drugs Authority not to focus only on removing erythrocin from tomato products, but also extend its regulations to include the removal of the substance from confectioneries, candies, drinks, and other food products containing this harmful dye. She also recommended that the findings be used to inform stakeholders and guide necessary steps to provide safe tomato concentrates and other food products for consumers on the market. Well, quite unfortunate, getting to know that something we all, a core ingredient of a food we all enjoy, that's jollof.
Are we safe? I don't think.
What is rather unfortunate here is that they are not able to bring the products that, actual products that have these, because they name some, so which means that there are other ones that are actually very safe to use. It will be very helpful if the actual brands that have these components in them are brought out.
Right. So I think what should happen is, since they've already done the research, they should give it to FDA. So FDA does. Yeah. Even if they don't want to make it public knowledge, so that FDA does the regulation, make sure that all their products are off the market. Well, some of us to know the reason why they're off the market, but if their products are off the market, then we know we are safe. FDA can assure us that, what, their products have been taken off. You can, because right now a lot of people are skeptical about consuming tomato paste. They don't know which one to go for. At this point, we'll all be making tomato paste in our homes.
And Burkina Faso is determined to not give us anything again. Have you seen that report?
Yes.
And so importation of all these things are going to be limited. So we are going to see we are in serious trouble. Oh.
True.
Yeah, we are very even our African counterparts are cutting, because these countries are struggling themselves. And he might have come for our inauguration, but he's not playing with people like that. This man is about business. When I saw the statement, I was very personally, as honest, I think, and I've said this a number of times here, that it's time for us to take matters into our own hands. Because I've told you severally, if you go to that Addai stretch, tomatoes that is rotting on that stretch, baskets, but yet we are importing tomatoes from Burkina Faso. Are we okay? We are okay. Okay in this country. So let's move on.
But guys, that's all. Right. I think he's also changing. Now the lawyers are not expected to wear anything.
That's probably the first thing he did when he came in, and that's what brought people's attention to him. I was like,
this guy.
He's about business. I love it.
Also resetting Burkina Faso.
Did I say I love him on national television?
But that's all for the morning news on the AM Club. My name is Augustine Edem Kobiti. Today is a big day. President John Dramani Mahama will deliver the State of the Nation's address to Parliament. You want to stay glued to MX24 TV, MX24 GH on Instagram, on all social media platforms. Remember, we are also on YouTube, MX24 GH, as well as MX24 News on Instagram as well. Don't forget that you can also read updates mx24.app/voting voices. We will be updating you. Every will be updated on our website, so remember to read on the go. My name is Augustine Edem. The rest of the
show through, and we move on to sports right after this.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24, fun, fearless, and factual.
So it's time for us to get into some sports updates right here on the show. Early, partial, and auto cash out. Looking for more control over your bets? Well, cash out allows you to take an early payout on your bets before they are settled, meaning you're able to get money back before the event is over and your bet is ultimately resulted. You either make a profit or get a portion of your initial bet back, depending on how your selection is doing at the time of you taking up the cash out. The first story, the Ghana Football Association, as the FFA, the GFA, has announced the resumption of the Premier League in Ghana, starting with match day 23 on March 7th at 2025. So March 7th to the 10th. Or 2025. The resumption is subject to safety and security assurance inspections by the GFA and the Ministry for Sports and Recreation. The Football Association has also announced the fixtures for match days 20, 21, and 22, with match day 20 scheduled for March 18th to 20th, match day 21 for April 1st to the 3rd, and match day 22 for April 15th to the 17th, 2025. Asante Kotoko will play second D11-wise in an MTN FA Cup match on March. The Football Association encourages cooperation from all sides, maintaining safety and security at all match venues. Well, away from that, but still on football, Liverpool moved 13 points clear at the top of the Premier League after beating Newcastle 2-0 at Anfield. Dominic Szoboszlai opened the scoring in the 11th minute and was joined on the score sheet by Alexis McAllister midway through the second half. Those goals saw Arne Slot's men take advantage of second-placed Arsenal, who were held to a draw against Nottingham Forest earlier, to increase their lead at the summit, though they have played a game more. But away from that, let's do some basketball now. Shy Jill girls. Alexander scored 27 points. Chet Holmgren had 22 points and 17 rebounds, and the Oklahoma City Thunder rebounded from a stunning collapse with a game-changing blitz in the fourth quarter to beat the 129 to 121. Aaron Wiggins had points and Jalen Williams had 22 for the Thunder, who were playing for the first time since their loss in Minnesota Timberwolves. Updates right here on the AM Club on MX24. Early partial and auto cash out. Looking for more control over your bets? Take an early payout on your bets before you are able to get your money back before the event is over and your bet is ultimately resulted. You either make a profit or get a portion of your initial bet back, depending on how your selection is doing at the time of you taking up the cash out. Visit the MX24 app to catch up on all the fun and excitement of the AM Club shows featuring engaging segments and exclusive content you don't want to miss.
I'll catch up with all the the breaking news stories, sports and business insights on mx24online.com. Now it's not time for it's not time for showbiz and entertainment right after this break.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun, fearless, and factual.
Everybody, you're welcome to Entertainment News segments right here on the AM Club Coffee Daily. Coffee Daily.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know why I decided to not talk about it, but it's still Coffee Daily though. You know, we're still in Coffee Daily.
Yeah.
I just said Coffee Daily Entertainment. Yeah.
I hardly get to tease you and then you throw shade. So this I was like, yes. This
I got her. Coffee Daily. It was my for me. In my head, I'm like, really? What did you do that for?
Good morning, Miriam.
You're welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Good morning, JKD.
Is she?
Thank you.
I like it.
Yeah, demure.
No, I do.
Exactly. I'm still in the challenge. I'm dressing like my blessing.
What blessing is this?
Maternity. This one.
This get.
Yes, now.
No, but it's cute. You look really cute.
Thank you. Hi, sir.
Good morning, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How about you?
I'm okay.
Okay, let's quickly get into it. Now, Mimi, if I was to ask you to pay me 120,000 Ghana cedis, or if we had a little back and forth and the court told you to pay me 120,000 cedis, how many days or months do you think you can use to pay me that?
This one day, I'll take you to Hallelujah, Selling and pray against you.
You dress as your blessing, right?
Yeah, because it's a lot of money.
Right.
It's only 270. Right?
JKD, how many months will you use to pay me that amount?
Trying to let me calculate what's in my account here.
Yes. How many months did you use to pay me 170,000 Ghana cedis?
Ghana cedis?
Yes, Ghana cedis.
170,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes. It's proper for the how really you can't be.
Oh,
10,000, 10, 100,000.
And it's 70.
And it's 70,000. Oh, that's not money. That's not money. That's not
okay.
money.
But can we say the same for Bongo Ideas?
Oh, I pray God for him. I pray Jesus for that boy.
Now, yesterday the picture that was trending was the picture where he was on the bicycle holding a pack of food. Now, you see, that day that's Nana Ba and Amwa caught him and took him to EIB. He didn't learn his lesson.
No, I said this morning that I agree with my friend when he said, you people, there's something seriously wrong with this guy. Because I don't believe that someone is putting money into his shenanigans on social media.
No, not
I don't think someone has that, unless he cannot.
Because this is negativity. No one would want to associate their.
Oh, but you know, people actually fund these things.
Oh wow!
Yeah, there are people who, you know, there's a blog in Nigeria called Gossip. Gossip something.
Yeah.
And at some point it was alleged to have belonged to Tonto Dike. When connections were made, apparently it connected to some. But there are people who actually fund these things. They have people to pick on, so they'll fund it, right? Because how much should they pay Bongo Ideas to get him to say that you are something? Do you get what I mean? So I'm saying that there are people who actually do this, but I don't believe that there's someone behind this guy.
And it's his own fingers.
And if it is what I think, that on one way Nadia. Charlie, someone cannot be thoroughly negative like this. There's something wrong.
But you know, the video that came out where Nana Ba and Bolari were questioning him, he said that he used to post positive things and it never went anywhere until he started doing the negativities and then doing this and defaming this person. And
oh, really?
Yes.
That's their meet and greet?
Yeah.
That's their small meeting inside Bola's office. I haven't seen that video.
I watched it. He said he used to post good stuff. If someone comes out with music, he posted the links and all those things. And it didn't work out till recent. Let me say the way he was shaking, couldn't even talk. So let me tell you, they are like this behind the screens. They are like that behind the screens.
I wish him all the very best because, I mean, I don't know how he's going to cough this money out, but if he does not, he goes to jail.
Simple.
So
he has to. And now, go find me.
Where? I mean,
Well, Ghanaian forex trader Kojo Forex has won his defamation lawsuit against social media commentator Bongo Ideas, with the Accra High Court ordering Bongo Ideas to pay 170,000 Ghana cedis in damages and legal costs. The court also directed Bongo Ideas to publicly apologize and retract his defamatory statements on Twitter within 21 days. Additionally, a permanent injunction was issued preventing Bongo Ideas from making further defamatory statements about Kojo Forex. This really marks a significant legal setback for Bongo Ideas, who had been accused of publishing defamatory statements about Kojo Forex on Twitter, damaging his reputation. I think this will be a big lesson to him. It was coming. It's
Do you know Bongo Ideas?
Hey!
You haven't met Bongo Ideas. Bongo Ideas that was publicly embarrassed went back to do the same thing he was embarrassed for. Was allegedly arrested by the Ghana police, tormented, came back and went right ahead into it. And then now he gets into this trouble. Have you guys met Bongo Ideas?
You should find the money and see where he's going to get.
What if he go find the money? What if he can?
The man that is holding pack on bicycle.
It doesn't matter. You can't tell. You cannot tell. What if he promised the money right now? Maybe, just maybe, because of the other sanctions, don't mention him, don't talk about him, yada, yada, yeah. If he gets the money and pay, he decides to go and talk about the guy again. What can you do? You go back to court. It's Bongo Ideas we are talking about. Too. That guy.
I don't clock him like that, so I don't know.
He doesn't seem to hear. He doesn't seem to hear anything. So
the irony of it is that Kojo Forex doesn't even need this money.
That's the thing.
They need them.
But it's just that he wants
this money, Kojo Goofy, it be peanut for him. You get it.
But he has to pay.
But he has to pay. So I don't know. For me, what this guy has gone through, because he's spoken about somebody and all that, and he still comes back to speak about these people. This one, Ankasa, I don't see it as something that would deter him from not speaking about it.
Okay.
We cry small, pertaining to whatever he's told us that he went through for speaking about the ex-president and all those things there. And this one, I think this one cry is peanuts. Like, this punishment is like, it's small. He's put his Momo number out.
That's people should help.
And who knows? If he comes back and says that, Ghanaians, thank you, what will be your reaction?
Hey!
You have no idea.
All right, we're moving away from that. Let's do some awards. Now, 2025 has started and awards are going here and there, but Ghana did not come to play in the Trace Awards. Oh, Ghana. So we had Kiddy Black Sharif, who performed their song Lomo Lomo. Kim Promise performed. Ghana was nominated in Best Dancer. That was Incredible Ziggy Dance God Lloyd. Best Hip Hop Sarkodie. Best Collaboration Perfect Combi. And all of that. But let's take a look at Lomo Lomo's performance.
Today, my guy. Please, let's take a look at Lomo Lomo's performance.
All right, guys, let's take a look at Kiddy's performance at the Trace Awards.
trying.
We are trying.
We are trying.
We are getting the memo.
Yeah.
We're getting the memo. What of Kim Promise performance?
Yes, let's take a look at Kim.
Who is doing him?
Oh, I think, I think genuinely, Kim Promise needs to go back to either rehearsing intensely. Is that English?
Intensively.
Intensively.
Yeah.
But the day. That's what I mean. Like he needs to go strongly into doing live performance rehearsals, like 3 months straight, back to back, with the creme de la creme of the people that do live performance.
Yeah.
So that he can get that back, because he's lost it. It's not the same platform, same sound, same microphone that Lobo used to perform right now. How is it that he was struggling, could not hear a thing? Great opportunity to be on Trace, but I think that now it has been consistent with his mishaps on the stage.
No, but it's the same thing that when he did, especially with TGMAs, people
exactly what I'm saying.
So we thought that like he was going to do his
he should just go back
then,
to rehearse. Yeah, because he has a good voice. And now, you know, studio can spoil you. You know this. Studio can spoil you. You can just be stuck in the studio when you think that you're good. But live performance is a whole different ball game.
Exactly.
He needs to get it together.
Exactly.
But that was amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing. As far as they recognize him and then he's there, he was also in some nominations.
I don't know, but with Kim Promise, since the time that I knew him, I have not enjoyed
his live
any live performance from him before. And I stand to be corrected. I thought when the mayhaps happened with TGMA and everything, maybe there were the sound, whatever it was, because honestly, I was outside. So I had to even ask Mimi who was inside that band. So if maybe the miming is working for him, might as well just get back to it so that
everyone has
people
their
don't start talking about this, about you, because the negative side will not help you in any way. So
he needs to go back and do some rehearsal if he wants to continuously do this, because his voice keeps going back in. Like, why?
On a mishap of sounds, even with a Samini, you would still get a live performance.
That's a goat.
Do you get it? On a mishap, like let's say sound is not even correct.
Oh, he gave you.
You would still get it. You get me? So I think it's a craft on its own. It's not about the sound. The sound can mess you up, all right. These are technical hitches you cannot do anything about. But I mean, there are people who have mastered the craft.
Yeah, who still,
they know how to do it.
Right.
And I thought that was a problem until I experienced it myself. I mean, when you go for ceremonies and, you know, sometimes you are the master of ceremony and you're talking. Somebody has approached me and asked me that, the same microphone now we use to know. But walk aside, so yes. So it's about the microphone technique, maybe. Do you get it? Who knows?
Yeah, it's crazy because all these needs to be studied as you're an artist. So we don't need to just think about going into the studio and then recording and getting a hit song.
But it's okay to mime, though. It's okay.
If that's what
the thing is,
okay
the thing is, that's it.
Yeah,
If
okay
choke and choke throughout the entire performance.
It's okay to mime. Same goes for medical.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'll say it. Same goes for him. He's my brother, but same goes for him. And for him, as for him, it's about the performance itself. You get it? Because it gets to a point we realize that no, guy is tired. So yes, yeah, because he always comes with the you know, the energy, but just at the end that we are going to be enjoying it more, no, then it comes ending. Don't start and leave us halfway. We don't like that. No, we won't enjoy it.
Let me tell you guys something. Did you see, and again, we're going to bring him back on this platform today, Sonny Badu. When Sonny Badu was going to do his show, did you guys see the process? He had a trainer to help him control his breath. So he went for swimming for like 2 months. Not all swimming, or started working out because he said he's going to be jumping on stage and he needs to build momentum for that. We're the best of the best. Because but look at the age difference. Sonny Badu and what do you call it? Kim Promet, all medical. Young boys. But we don't put in, when you go to Hollywood, sir, your friend said, Rihanna, pregnancy, not the better performance. Do you think you just woke up and came to do it?
She cannot wake up and just come and do it.
We don't put,
she will lose the pregnancy.
We don't
think I always used to wonder.
Add seriousness.
Yeah, I always used to wonder
how
is Beyonce able to crack and dance and whine and her voice is still the
1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, they're still practicing. You get it.
You know?
That's why I brought us to Ghana. Our very own Sonny Badu. Me say, at the name, me say, and you get it's like yeah, bro. But it was later when I saw him on stage for over 3 hours. I noticed,
yeah,
a guy was building momentum. You don't just do these things.
Yeah.
Because you can.
Exactly.
I met Mr. Freeman, who happens to be one of the best coaches when it comes to voice recording and everything in Ghana. I met him and I asked him, I was like, boss, your job, I know they understand your job. I don't know. I started asking him like, please explain your job to me because I know they see the importance of the job, to be honest. He watched me, he sat me down and he explained things to me. Then I understood. I'll give a clear example. And shouts going out to him today for taking that step. Kobe Sam. Kobe Sam is a rapper. Me, I was part of his team, so I never knew he knew how to sing. But when he started singing, it wasn't until he took it serious. Kobe decided to go voice training. And we saw the impact. So now him singing, I'm like, okay, it's good. But it took Kobe to go for voice training. And people might think that, oh, he just woke up and decided to just sing and it's perfect. Yeah. No, it doesn't work that way. So all we're trying to say is that, please, as much as we're investing into the cars and the whatnot, let's invest into the craft too as well. Because I will come and pay to watch you. So you don't leave me jumping from the start and then the end, your energy is down.
Exactly. Ooh, that's a whole conversation to be had. The craft of stage. Anyway, moving on to our last story, which happened to be an international story. Now, Nhyira Bondzie said some things on Twitter. Oh, it's been such a hard one.
Is it in relation to Mohbad?
Exactly. Now, he's talking about the fact that people have said things and he is still here. He's not shutting down soon. And the fact that he invited them to his home, and now Mohbad is dead, and now his name is being dragged. And in fact, there's a whole lot. But let's quickly get into it. Nhyira Bondzie has spoken out after being cleared of involvement in the death of his former signee Mohbad, expressing relief and gratitude by sharing a Quranic verse on social media. He opened up about the pain and shame he felt when falsely accused of killing Mohbad, revealing that he had made peace with Mohbad before his passing and resolved their business-related differences. Nhyira Bondzie recounted his suffering in jail and expressed patience for the truth to reveal, stating that he carried the weight of false accusations in silence despite knowing the truth. Let's take a look at the screenshot. So he said, "I never thought silence could be so loud. I never thought someone I called my brother, someone I protected, will leave this world with my name in his shadow. Ooh. I have carried this weight, this pain, this shame that was never mine to bear. We as Malians were not perfect. We had to grow, we had to adapt. Mistakes were made, but they were business, never war. I made peace with Mohbad. We understood each other beyond the noise, beyond the misunderstandings, and you know this. Yet, when he took his last breath in you all arms, you looked at the world and pointed at me. You let them tear me apart. You let them call me a killer while you sat there, knowing the truth. Now you tell the story. I welcomed you all into my home. I gave you my trust, and yet my brother is gone, still not buried, and that is your fault. Telling the truth from the beginning would have given him the rest he deserves. Regardless, I'll always be there for him. You never thought I would survive. You never thought I would walk through the fire and face my people. Maybe you hoped I would stay a fugitive. You thought I would run. Instead, I stood before the justice system, spent time in jail, and faced everything head on while you changed the story again and again. But God sees all. The truth does not shake. The lies will fade and time will reveal everything. I have been broken, but I'm not destroyed. And when the truth finally speaks, I pray your heart is still strong enough to bear it. Naira Marley. This is crazy to me.
But has it been cleared off?
Yes,
It's been cleared up,
yes,
like...
but do you know why it's crazy to me? Because the world saw you bully this man, put videos out there of you bullying this man, made this man go through so many things, and yet he's dead. Why wouldn't you think that the first hand the world will point is you? It's like you're doing something, then when the end results come, I'm not saying that like he died because of his bullying, but let's say, for instance, I keep taking something that is not mine, and this time is just not me. Won't I be the first person that someone will say, exactly? And now you're here, you're playing this pity party and sad story. Meanwhile,
I see you're not amused at all.
I'm not. Meanwhile, you continuously bullied this man. You called him names, and in fact, there's one screenshot out, and guys, there's one screenshot there that I posted of his music when he said he's going to, put the up in his grave. And yes, leave that up boy in a casket. These words were put in your songs, and he's dead, and he went through such a sad death, and you think people won't point at you? And you're here playing pity party. Yeah. Look at this. Leave that up boy in a casket.
Is this a recent song?
No, it's a long time song.
So I would say that it might not exactly, in my opinion, totally, and I totally respect your opinions. It might not be totally connected to the death of Mohbad, but like you rightly said, right? So I'm talking about the lyrics right now. It might not directly be connected to Mohbad, but you like you rightly said, there were videos of you torturing this boy because he has nobody,
and new ones coming out every day, and you want us to start talking that what you did great because there was a business. Have you seen Mesichu and his manager? That is how you fight business battles. You don't fight business battle taking laws into your own hands. So even if you didn't kill him, you deserve that jail term you had. Exactly. And then what does he mean by I welcomed you in my home? And
who is supposed to welcome them?
Exactly.
Are you not,
because
you signed the guy.
Exactly.
You made money off the brand.
Exactly.
So I don't know what he's trying to do. But then again, unfortunately, Mohbad is not here to tell his story.
In fact, if I'm to go sentence by sentence, I'll walk out here pissed. Because when I was reading, I was so pissed. Because
I don't see how people throw stones and hide their hands. You're causing people pain. You're taking joy away from people. However, when they attach you to something that is equivalent to what you have done, you want us to call you Jesus.
Now, he claims that they made peace. The same way you put out videos out there bullying this man, why didn't you make the peace known?
Publicly.
Publicly.
We didn't see the peace being made publicly. Your boys went after this young boy like a common criminal, abused him, right? And today, it might not have been your hands that killed him, but a lot of some of these things contribute to these deaths. So Naira Marley can never win public sympathy.
Oh, now with you saying that, let's take a look at, because you just spoke a language of one person out there, so let's take a look at someone. Someone said, stop appealing, you have been cancelled permanently. Another person said, you and your gang bullied him. Another person said, nobody said you killed Mohbad. You bullied him. You were bullied, so don't shift post. Did you bully him? Yes or no? Did you stand for him when he was also bullied in your home? Yes or no? Yeah, it's cricket sound as expected. Another person says, you will go still use Apere to sell all your songs for village. You'll be forgiven if Mohbad came back to life. Who you they write episode for? You will just start. All right, moving on. Another person said, I think basically that's it. So that's it. People are saying that we're not taking. No.
Mohbad is dead.
No.
His son is an orphan now. His dad is busy, not doing what a father should do.
No, let me tell you, even this story, like this video that came out of Mohbad's dad yesterday saying that how can Mohbad buy a land in his son's name when he, the father, never bought a land in Mohbad's name? How can you even do, when it comes to Mohbad's story, I'm like...
It is a sad story.
What's happening?
Now, I think recently his wife just had an interview with is it Uche? Oh, okay. She something.
She had an interview.
She just had an interview, and the interview is being poked into. Some of the things that the lady said that she never said before. And you see, that is why every single person in this Mohbad case should be jailed, from wife to parents.
From what?
Yes, because she's telling us now that the father of Mohbad said to her and the nurse that we have not identified the nurse yet, knew what had happened to Mohbad. Mohbad died before they got to the hospital. The nurse knew about it, but up until recently, up until this interview, she had never mentioned that. She also didn't mention that Mohbad's dad told them that, leave this nurse alone, let her be out of this case.
Everybody is fishy.
Do you understand? Let's leave this nurse out of this issue. She, who is the medical person who understands what might have gone into Mohbad's body, because she injected him, the dad told Mohbad's wife to let the nurse go. This story hasn't been out, has never been said until now. So all of them should be jailed. And be investigated thoroughly. I was the one behind her that the guy just lost her husband. There's a child involved, but I don't think they're thinking.
At the end of the day, we need all these things to get together so we can finally bury him. Like, wow. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Daphne Flashy, and this is Entertainment News Segment. I'll come away same time tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the show. Over to you, Mimi and
that wasn't so entertaining. But thank you so much for coming through. Really appreciate your so much work you put into that. We really appreciate it. Now, in today's dynamic business environment, a robust workforce is pivotal to achieving success. This is why we have thoughtfully designed our corporate health insurance plans to empower your employees and bolster your organization's performance. With Equity Health Insurance, your investment transcends ordinary insurance. It represents a commitment to the future of your company. Our health plans are individually tailored to accommodate the unique needs of your employees, offering comprehensive coverage and exceptional benefits. Our support goes beyond administrative tasks and premiums. At Equity Health Insurance, we are dedicated to standing by your side throughout the entire journey. Please feel free to reach out to us on 050-1515124 or 0539-135-073 so that we can further enhance the level of service we provide to you. Equity Health Insurance, always here for you.
Well, are you looking for the best value data and voice tailored to your unique needs? At Telecel, we understand everyone has their own preference. That's why we have the unbeatable Made For Me bundles made just for you. The Made For Me bundles are affordable, customized data and voice packages personalized for you. Simply dial *530# or download the Telecel Play app to subscribe to your special Made For Me bundle. Telecel, connecting energies. Well, that's about it for Coffee Dailies, but you can courtesy Carbo Coffee. Carbo Coffee says they're with you every moment. Do well to grab one today. Up next is Lifestyle Daily after this.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun, fearless, and factual.
Every day surprises. You never know which thrill is around the corner.
Feel good. Feel good.
Or how it will play out. There's a sense of excitement.
Did our plane just stop? Another cash out.
That adds a little magic to my everyday.
Michael has been exceptional, surpassed all his targets. Let's hear from this year's Staff of the Year.
This wouldn't be possible without a strong relationship. You've been with me through university. All those days of studying together just to ace those tests, which we did, by the way. And those days of the side hustles. You were there. All of these have prepared me for this moment. Cowbell Coffee has been there with me every single step of the way.
For the big days and the seemingly ordinary, creamy Cowbell Coffee is with you every moment.
This advert is FDA approved.
This is a call to you. The dreamers. The ones that see no boundary.
Dreamers take a all the vibes connect.
Energies.
Cheers to the lingering tastes and lasting memories over tables in groups or alone. What's your go-to when you desire the right beverage to whip up your vibe? The Ghana Beverage Awards is back to reward and recognize that outstanding beverage. And the power is in your hands. Nominate your most favorite beverage on www.ghanabeverageawards.com from 20th January 8 February 2025. Ghana Beverage Awards is powered by Global Media Alliance in partnership with Perception Management International, Silverbird Cinemas, E-Productions, and our media partners Happy FM, YFM, B&FT, MX24, and NYDJ Live. Ghana Beverage Awards, inspiring excellence in Ghana's beverage industry.
Last year, at the Ghana FinTech Awards, we celebrated the bold innovations and regulatory excellence that shaped our digital economy. It was a night of recognition, inspiration, and progress. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the 4th edition of the Ghana FinTech Awards. The stage is set once again to honor the outstanding achievements of companies and individuals pushing boundaries and transforming Ghana's digital financial ecosystem.
I want to specially welcome all of you to the esteemed Ghana FinTech Awards. Let's just get into a spirit of joy and celebration.
This evening is a very special evening for us within the FinTech community, and I see us from the perspective of not just a regulator, but innovators and stakeholders.
This year, we focus on a critical pillar of our digital future, trust. Under the theme, Building Trust in Ghana's Digital Economy, the essential role of cybersecurity and data privacy. We spotlight the innovators and leaders ensuring security, reliability, and confidence in the fintech space. We celebrate excellence, resilience, and game-changing contributions. Good luck to all nominees and welcome to the Ghana FinTech Awards.
The legend.
KNIILANTE. It's a decision. That love me.
Amazing. On the show, I am John Jermaine.
Drama, betrayal, faith, forbidden love. What would you do when life writes a chapter you didn't ask for? Every broken pen has a story to tell. Every story has a lesson to learn. But the question is, how do you fix it? The Broken Pen Show is back. Real stories, raw truths, and maybe, just maybe, the answers you've been looking for. Hi, ladies. Hi. Your story isn't over. Let's fix it together with a cold glass of Nax cocktail. Catch the Broken Pen Show every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on MX24 TV. My name is Yavita, and I am your host. Cheers.
I want to find out one thing. What happened with you and Cookie?
One day Cookie calls me and says, bro, I want to do my solo album. Ghana, if somebody go, blah, blah, even for the media space right now, go talk your mind right now, they go talk to they go blacklist you. Event organizers, they go, then boom, balance one.
Honestly, this was a part of our group. One of the times we featured on 9,010 laughs. Fluid. So I called him, so speak to my manager. Where?
Patience is a virtue that carries a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Always know that you live to fight another day.
I feel say we musicians, one thing we like do, we know how to create. Yeah. But the business part, we know the add them to whatever we do.
Me right now, as I stand here, everything is about marketing. If like
the people I was looking up to, these two boys called famous people. Their work looked like they had like they were like 17 people or 20 people.
Hey, welcome back to the show right here on MX24. If you're just joining in, you made the right choice. I was just yelling in the studio with my producer because our upcoming conversation is very important, but it's also very intense. So stay glued. Today's Thursday, so we're definitely going to get into some health conversations. But before we get into that, at Equity Health Insurance, the well-being of our members takes precedence. We recognize the unique healthcare needs of individuals and families, which is why we are delighted to present our Ebusua Health Plan. This health plan is crafted to promote the enduring health and happiness of you and your loved ones. Our plans are meticulously tailored to offer comprehensive, competitive, and of course, competitive insurance coverage for individuals, families, and smaller groups. Access to quality care is just a phone call away, offering continual assurance of your family's welfare. So contact us today on 0546 645 465 or 0503 860381. Equity Health Insurance, we say always here for you. Now, we have some water for you. You need water. You say water is life. So with GB Water, staying refreshed has never been easier. GB Water provides clean, healthy water you can trust as your go-to source for drinking and cooking. With options of our innovative 2 liters bottles that comes with a tap, and of course 18.9 liter bottles, your dispensers will have a breath of new life as our clean and hygienic GB water flows through them for consumption. Now, whether you need a cool drink to quench your thirst or fresh water to cook your meals and for them to taste their best, GB water is the answer for your clean water needs. Order your clean water now by calling us on 020-9845-817. That's 020-9845-817. Or visit our website at www.jibuco.com/GH for more information about our brand. Jibu Water, a better life. And we have been talking about this entire week. That is the Ghana FinTech Awards. Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm excited because this weekend we're painting Ghana red or gold or blue or black. Yes, we're painting Ghana with all the colors from the Ghana FinTech Awards. Ghana's biggest FinTech celebration is almost here. The 4th edition of the Ghana FinTech Awards is happening on the 1st of March 2025 at the Labadi Beach Hotel's Adesa Pavilion, and you can't afford to miss this one, ladies and gentlemen. This year, we gather under the theme, Building Trust in Ghana's Digital Economy, the essential role of cybersecurity and data privacy. It's set to be a night of excellence, recognition, and high-impact networking with the biggest names in FinTech and banking. Tickets are selling fast. Regular VIP and VVIP tickets available to secure yours today. Now, so call us 059-838-5685. That's 059-838-5685 or visit www.ghanafintech.awards.org to book yours today. You want to position your brand at the forefront of FinTech excellence. Sponsorship opportunities are available as well, and they're still open. Partner with us and showcase your leadership in Ghana's digital financial revolution. Red carpet starts at 5:30 p.m. 5:30 p.m. exactly. Jay and I will be on the red carpet, so please come through. Let's have a good time. Follow the buzz with hashtag Ghana FinTech Awards, hashtag FinTech Excellence. Don't just hear about it, ladies and gentlemen. Be there. Right. So today, let's get straight into our conversation for this morning. Let me take a breath. People, today, my ladies, so if you have a sister, come into the room. If you have a wife, get into the room. Get in here, get in here, get in here. If you're a lady, get in here. If you're a gentleman who is not sure, you want to hear this conversation, just sit. Right, stay put, okay? We're going to be having a conversation right here on the show. And of course, our conversation is discussing, we are discussing Bartholin abscess, its causes, symptoms, and prevention methods. And to join us for this conversation, we have Dr. Yvonne M. Addai. She is a medical doctor. Good morning, Doc. Good morning. Please unmute so we can hear you.
Good morning, Miriam.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm blessed, beautiful, and very, very successful. Now, let's talk about your smile this morning, because what I'm coming to talk about is not Very nice. Why are you smiling? I'm pretty sure that's what you do before you tell a patient, this is very bad, with a smile.
I have to, because I can't just disappoint you every time.
That's true. That's true. Now, I'm just hearing about this particular disease, and it has become imperative for us to talk about because, again, the female, and guess what? Strangely, my friend and I were talking about this whole, there was an ad we saw out there, what do you steam your peach? And we thought it was actual peach, but it turns out that it's in relation to the vagina. And then when we saw it, we started looking into it, steaming, all these things women are doing. So we're actually arguing about this and its importance yesterday, and then this conversation. So let's get into it. Bartholin abscess, am I pronouncing it well?
Yeah, Bartholin abscess.
Okay, tell us what this disease is. What causes it? What kind of disease is this?
Okay. So, good morning to your viewers and everyone. So, when we say Bartholin's abscess, it's one of the diseases that affects a part of the female genital, which is called the Bartholin's gland. Men do not obviously have it; it's just found in females. Mm-hmm. So, it means there's an infection within the Bartholin's gland, or initially, the Bartholin's gland would have formed a cyst as a result of a blockage of the opening of the gland. And this cyst can also get infected, and then it may form an abscess. So when you take a look at the female genital, the external part of it will show you the vulva, and these glands are positioned at if you are looking at it as the face of the clock, they are positioned at the 4 o'clock and then the 8 o'clock position. Mm-hmm. When you look at just the opening of the female genital. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you won't see them, but they are embedded inside. When these glands get infected, that is what we call the Bartholin's abscess. And an abscess in a layman's term would be a boil or pumper, as people call it in Chi. Yeah. Yeah. So this happens as a result of introduction of some germs. These germs are normally found in the external part of our genital, and then around the anal region, and then our skin. So they are actually normal. We call them normal flora. But in instances where they are moved from where they are normally situated to where they are not supposed to be, that is when they cause infection. So how would that come about? For instance, this is a common act by females, douching. So you may take these organisms from the external part or from the skin and then insert your finger into your vagina. It may introduce these germs there. Or when you do number 2 and then you are wiping and then you wipe from the back to the front, you may introduce these germs there as well. Or let's say when you just clean your what do they call it, your pubic parts with, let's say, a tissue, and then use the same tissue to clean inside your vagina, you are still introducing these germs there. And then very rarely, people whose immune system is suppressed can also get some infection. So they are prone to every form of infection. And since Bartholin's abscess is part, we may also say that they may also get Bartholin's abscess.
So how would one know that, I have Bartholin abscess? Well, how would you know? What are the common symptoms?
Okay, so the very common symptoms are swelling and pain. And pain is the most important symptom the patients will come complaining about. They will see a swelling that would affect the way they sit, the way they walk. And the pain progresses. So today it may be just a little bit painful, to more painful yesterday. They would say, okay, I have seen a swelling at just one side of my genital, and it looks reddened when they look into the mirror. Others will also say that, oh, I have seen something coming out, like a discharge, a creamish discharge coming out of it. That means that this Bartholin's abscess has already broken. But most of the time, it is the pain and then the swelling, preventing people from walking well and then from sitting as well, that brings them to the OPD for us to see.
Wow. Now, I want to, so because you and I are, you know, same gender, there are times that you have, you know, just because you probably have worn a certain type of underwear, you have these swollen consistently. So for instance, you are on a project and you are constantly wearing these not cotton panties, and you probably have been introduced to a lot of heat for a very long time. You realize that that area might develop some level of pain or some rash on one part, or the lip parts, one side of the female genital. Would you say that there are some other infections that show up, like the Bartholin abscess, or it's just the Bartholin abscess that show up like that?
So when you look at the Bartholin abscess, like the picture you showed earlier, it looks like just a single one, just one. So if you see a collection of rash, that won't be a Bartholin abscess.
Okay.
Because this one is showing you that whatever is happening within the gland.
Yeah. Okay.
There are just two glands, so they are paired on each side.
Okay.
So if you see that one side is swollen in this particular fashion, then that's a Bartholin abscess. Sorry. If you see any other rash, you would have to investigate into it what that could be, because it wouldn't necessarily mean it's a Bartholin abscess. It may be other things that you may be attributing to the undie you are wearing.
Yeah.
But not necessarily a Bartholin abscess.
Okay, right. So we needed to clarify that, because you know how we are. Once it looks like something, we are assuming it is what we're talking about. Now let's talk about the age range that is at risk of contacting or getting exposed to the Bartholin cyst. Is there a specific age range that when you get to, you are, you know, at risk at getting this disease?
Okay, so it usually happens in women of childbearing age. So between 15 and then 49-year-old females. But commonly, women aged 20 to 30 would experience this, but it is not very common. So in a whole year, if we take like 100 women, every 100 women, you get 2 people getting. So it's just about 2% of women that would come to the hospital complaining of this particular one. So once you've started puberty, you are likely to get this. Women who are menopausal do not get this. When they get it, it may point to something else that needs to be carefully investigated.
But why is that the case though?
Because women of reproductive age are usually experimenting and doing all sorts of things in their genitals, and these are things that are going to introduce these germs into the gland. Yeah.
Right. So my argument is that it is not necessary for any woman to do all these douching and steaming and waxing and all these extra things that we are now introduced to my generation. We're too excited about these things. It's valid. Like, we don't have to do all of these things.
Yes, douching is actually not necessary, because the vagina is actually self-cleansing. It contains all the right environments to clean itself. And mostly what you would need is just normal water to clean it. You don't even need to introduce any soap, any creams, nothing. Only water would be able to clear your vagina.
Right. But how do we diagnose this Bartholin abscess in the first place? Like, what's the process of diagnosing this disease?
Okay. So the process begins when your patient walks into the hospital, because you may see a female limping, not because they have a swollen leg or anything, but because there's something in between their legs that they can't walk straight. So it's mainly about what the patient tells you or the woman tells you, and then what you see. You don't necessarily need to do any lab tests to see that, oh, you may have a Bartholin abscess. So a patient walks in and says that, doctor, I have pain around my genital. There's a boil. I am not able to sit well. When I walk, I find difficulty. Yes, and then it looks like it's almost about to break. it feels a little bit warm to touch, and just one side of my genital is swollen as compared to the other side. Then now the doctor would take a look at it. Of course, because of legal matters, they will need to have an assistant to be there, especially for our male colleagues.
Yes.
So they will look at it, and then just by observing the position and then how it looks, we would say that, okay, this is a Bartholin's abscess. So others will also come with a Bartholin cyst. That one is not painful. So they may have the swelling, but they wouldn't complain of any pain. And that is just because the opening of the gland is blocked. And so whatever it collects, so the Bartholin's gland is supposed to lubricate the vagina. Exactly. It contains fluid that lubricates the vagina normally. So if the opening is blocked, that is when all these secretions are going to accumulate and then form a cyst. When the cyst is formed, that one doesn't cause any pain. It is just the swelling that you would see. But immediately the patient complains of pain, then you know that this has formed an abscess or an infection.
Right.
And so when a woman comes in and then complains of all these things, and then the doctor also takes a look and then sees all these, they may say that, yes, this is a Bartholin's abscess.
Okay, so if I'm understanding clearly, we can have a cyst, but there's not necessarily an abscess, so that will not, it cannot transform to become an abscess. Is that what you're saying?
It can transform. It can transform to become an abscess. So you may have the gland itself becoming infected initially, or a cyst would have formed already, and because they have been introduction of microorganisms or germs, it can become infected and form an abscess.
Right, that's clear now. Now, what are the common treatment methods for the abscess? But before we get into that, right, once you are at the cyst level, are there any, measures in place that could, stop it from, transforming into an abscess, or you should just leave it like that once it hasn't gotten to that point? I'm not sure if you get me.
So when it's at the point of the cysts, there are some conservative methods to do. So there is something called a cyst bath. It's warm water in a basin with a little bit of antiseptic. Then whoever has it sits in it for a while, for about 10 minutes, just to make it reduce in size, or that would actually make it reduce in size. And sometimes may spontaneously break. And then also have the cysts and you don't want it to get infected, you'd have to stop douching or introducing all these germs there from the activity mentioned earlier.
Anyhow, so we're still hammering on the fact that douching is not a necessity. In fact, if you can and you should, as a woman, stay away from it because it really doesn't do much. The genital itself has a power and it has been designed to be able to clean its own self. All you need is water, I believe, is what we have been trying to share this morning. And so I need us to keep that. Now let's go to the methods of treatment. Once you've realized or been diagnosed of a Bartholin abscess, what do you do in terms of treatment?
Okay, so immediately you notice that when you see a doctor, the doctor would advise, especially when the abscess isn't broken yet, the doctor will advise an incision and drainage. So we make a very tiny cut on the wall. Before this, you would have been given some local anesthesia or some pain relief so that you don't feel any pain from the cut. So just a tiny cut, like 0.5 centimeters cut on the swelling. And then you milk whatever is in it out. And then we wash the pouch that is left with normal saline. And then we would put a small tube there to allow for continuous drainage for some time, for like about up to 2 weeks or till when it is really fully healed. And then we can take out this small rubber tubing out. Usually we wouldn't put you on antibiotics if you are a healthy person. So like a healthy person with an uncomplicated abscess, we would just allow it to drain and then leave it as it is. There are others who also come with it broken already. If it's broken already, you can't really vouch whether everything has come out. So that is when you would put this person on antibiotics. And then apart from that, if it is very small, you can tell this person to do the sitz bath. Even after the incision and drainage, you would do a sitz bath. But there are others that come frequently. So they may come with Bartholin's abscess today, and in about 6 months' time, they have another one. It keeps recurring. Yes. For that one, you don't do an incision, just an incision and drainage on the next appointment. You would do a more complex one, which a gynecologist or a urologist would do on a normal day. Yes, and that is called marsupialization. But that would be so much for us, so we'll leave that.
But that's when you come continuously with the same condition.
Yes, when it's recurring, it keeps recurring. And then there are other times the gland itself will have to be removed, and that is also to be done surgically by surgeon. Yeah.
What? The entire gland will be how?
The gland is very small. The gland is like a 0.5 cm.
Okay, so
you have two. So
you can do with that one.
Usually, you wouldn't. Yes, you can do with one. You wouldn't have one happening on one side and then the next time it's on the other side. Fine, if it's on the other side, then we can spare that gland. We won't go and remove it. But if it keeps happening at the same point, we may have to take the gland out. Sometimes, if it keeps recurring that way, it means that there's something happening. It may be undergoing some changes, which may in the end even become cancerous sometimes.
Okay.
So we would actually need to investigate further if you keep having this recurrence. Especially in people with a cyst, sometimes it may, instead of it looking soft or feeling soft, it may be feeling hard because it has been recurrent, has undergone certain changes. That is when your surgeon would advise that we take out the gland to prevent any further insults.
Okay, right.
So after the incision and drainage is done, you would have to do the sitz bath for sometimes, at least 3 times a day. You sit in this warm water with antiseptic 10 minutes, 3 times a day. You do that till your next appointment, till the doctor clears you that you are fine, then you're
good to go. But what if you do not treat it? If one does not know that, this, again, in this day and age where we almost spiritualize most things, if the person does not know, doesn't come to the hospital, and this thing is there for a very long time, what are the implications of untreated Bartholin abscess? Sorry.
Okay, so it would eventually break on its own, 1, and then 2. Even when it breaks, it may not discharge all its contents, so it would reform. Apart from reforming, it may undergo the changes I spoke about. Apart from being infected, it can undergo some changes. So your gland will start changing, the cells there will start changing, and then furthermore, it may develop into maybe a tumor or something. But once you see that it's discharging and then you take out whatever fluid is there, I think you'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
But the risk of recurrence is just going to increase because you're not really bringing out its contents fully.
So you highly recommend, once you see anything like that and it might be close to that, you do the hospital immediately. Now, finally, are there lifestyle changes that can help reduce the risk of developing this particular disease as a Bartholin abscess?
Yes, so the lifestyle changes I would recommend would be good personal hygiene. And then, so for instance, what I spoke about wiping when you do number 2 and then you are wiping, you would have to wipe from the front to the back and not from the back to the front. So we reduce the introduction of germs into our private parts. And then also avoid inserting items or your fingers or tissue. Do not clean your pubic region with the same towel you are going to use for probably wiping inside. And then try to, as much as possible, clean your vagina with just water. Don't use soap. Don't use other things. Yes.
Thank you very much, Doc. We really appreciate you for coming and joining us have this conversation. Very soon we'll have to campaign largely for this particular thing because I think we're talking about it, but our ladies are not listening. We need to stop this introduction of all these chemicals down there. It's almost as if we don't believe that it can clean itself. I think that's where it is coming from. And all these sweetness that have been introduced, I don't know where this culture is coming from. But yeah, all of these things, we need to drum it a bit louder. But Dr. Yvonne M, Addai, she's a medical doctor. She just joined us to have the conversation on Bartholin abscess. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for joining us.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, like I said earlier to you all out there, it's always important. I mean, we have talked about it several times right here on this platform that we don't exactly like Thursdays, but it is a very important day of the week where we talk about our health. And this morning we did have a conversation on Bartholin abscess and its causes, of course, symptoms and preventions. If you just joined in, you missed a little bit, but you can go online and watch the entire interview. We're moving on to something even more exciting right here on the show. We'll be right back after this.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun, fearless, and factual.
The legend.
KNIILANTE. It's a decision that love me.
Amazing. On the show, I am John Shemaine.
Drama, betrayal, faith, forbidden love. What would you do when life writes a chapter you didn't ask for? Every broken pen has a story to tell. Every story has a lesson to learn. But the question is, how do you fix it? The Broken Pen Show is back. Real stories, raw truths, and maybe, just maybe, the answers you've been looking for. Hi, ladies. Hi. Your story isn't over. Let's fix it together with a cold glass of Nax cocktail. Catch the Broken Pen Show every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on MX24 TV. My name is Yavita, and I am your host. Cheers.
I want to find out one thing. What happened with you and Cookie?
One day Cookie calls me and says, bro, I want to do my solo album. Ghana, if somebody go blah blah, even for the media space right now, go talk your mind right now, they go talk to they go blacklist you. Event organizers self, they go boom on it, balance one.
Honestly, was a part of our group. One of the times we featured on 9,010 laughs. Flew it, so I called him. So speak to my manager. Where?
Patience is a virtue that carries a lot of weight. Yeah. Always know that you live to fight another day.
I feel say we musicians, one thing we like do, we know how to create. Yeah. But the business part, we know the add them to whatever we do.
Me right now, as I stand here, everything is about marketing. If I do
the people I was looking up to, these two boys called famous people. Their work looked like they had like they were like 17 people or 20 people.
Okay, welcome back to the AM Club right here on MX24. My name is Miriam Uduak Mensa. We're getting into another big one, okay? But before we do that, in an ever unpredictable life, the presence of adequate support in times of health-related uncertainties is pivotal. In light of this, Equity Health Insurance presents the ABS policy aimed at providing much-needed reassurance through Equity Health Insurance ABS policy. For a monthly sum as minimal as 15 Ghana cedis, beneficiaries can avail themselves of up to 500 Ghana cedis financial support on any hospital admission. The Equity ABS is meticulously crafted to furnish financial assistance for the duration of hospitalization. Thus, enabling individuals to concentrate on without escalating medical expenses. I'm in securing your Equity Health Insurance ABS policy today. Contact us on 050-868-4619 to commence enrollment today. Equity Health Insurance, we say always here for you. Again, with G Butter staying fresh and easier. In fact, today I'm encouraging you that come with the top 18.9 liters as well. Your dispensers will have a breath of new life as our clean, hygienic Jibu water flows through them for consumption. Okay, whether you need a cool drink to quench your thirst or fresh drinking water to make your meals taste its best. So it's extra spice for your food, okay? Jibu water is an answer to your clean water needs. Order for your clean water now by calling us on 020-9845-817 or visit our website at www.jibuco.com/GH for more information about our brand. Jibu Water, a better life. Now, let's talk about the most important conversation. I said this weekend is packed for us at MX24. So if you call me and I'm not picking your call, I'm busy. Oh, okay, I'm busy. Dare to Lead Conference 2025. And we have joined us the founder. She dares to lead NGO. She is in person of Madam Anita Nhyira Bondzie. Good morning.
Morning, yeah.
Why are you acting like you want to disappear?
That's a lot of hype, you know.
Because you are it. Okay. In advance, Happy International Women's Day.
Oh, yes,
in advance,
Happy International Women's
because
Day.
you are doing the Lord's work. You are doing what we have always fought for women to do. Speak to, do it to, dare to lead. Let's talk about the NGO. Let's start from that aspect of the conversation, because I would have really loved for us to get into the conference really quickly. But let's talk about the NGO, what it has done in the past, why you decided to put together an NGO that caters for the needs of the female, the gender, the female.
Right, thank you so much. A very good morning to viewers, and thank you, MX24 and Miriam. Thank you.
No, you look amazing. I didn't say that.
Thank you.
I didn't mention that. Yeah, I missed it. You look amazing.
You look amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So She Dares to Lead is an NGO that was born out of an already existing NGO called I Rule Foundation.
Okay.
We started I Rule Foundation in 2019, and the focus was to empower young people to develop their inner potentials to lead.
Okay.
And our target audience at the time were students in junior high schools and senior high schools. And so we organized, we had a few activities going on. We had our first conference in Great Lambton Mills Institute.
Okay.
Just because I was an alumni.
Okay.
So when we got there, we realized during the program that what we carried, what we envisioned was above the target audience. And the team decided, you know what, we have to take a look at this again. We had a community project in Abra Dunkwao, in the Abra Sebu Komankesi constituency, where we distributed 1,000 pieces of sanitary pads to young girls in different schools. It still wasn't really working for us, you know. And when I was in Accra Technical University, I contested for SRC Women's Commissioner, and I lost the election.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. I think now I'm happy I lost.
You know, right?
Yes.
Because it was a blessing that was born out of that. Tell us about the blessing.
I mean, yeah. So I lost the election, and then along the line, I became very popular on campus. Right.
For losing the election?
No, I think I was a little popular before then.
Before that.
And then when I introduced my candidature, it just caught fire.
Yes.
I came in the race a little late because my opponent had started way before me.
Right.
And then I come in and everybody's like, oh, Nhyira, everywhere.
Yeah.
So after that, I became the speaker of Accra Technical University Student Parliament.
Okay.
And that was when I actually realized, okay, it was good I lost the election. So from there, anyone who wants to go for SRC will come, SRC president, most of them will come to me and ask. I remember there was one lady, Mamiajo Teko, who she came and she said she decided to run and the lecturer told her to come and see me. So we went through the whole mentorship process, writing manifesto, coaching her on how to speak when she goes to class, how to conduct the campaign, everything. She won.
Okay.
And so I took interest in that. So I was like, okay, if Mamiaja could win, then other people could win as well.
Right.
So it became a usual thing. And usually some of them would call from Tech, they would call from Legon, they would call from different institutions. And even if I get to see them in person, I'm able to provide some guidance for them to go through their elections. Of course, not all of them won, but they learned. So when IRU Foundation was not really going in for me, as in the NGO was doing well, it was just not hitting the targets that I expected.
It just didn't feel fulfilled because it looked like there was a bigger...
Exactly.
Okay.
And so I was having a conversation with one of my bosses and he said, you are single-handedly raising young women in leadership. Why don't you institutionalize it? And then I was like, okay. So the team thought about it and we said, okay, let's do it in a way that tomorrow when I am not there, someone else could benefit from this program. And he said, you have dared to live your entire life.
Wow.
And I said, oh, yes, she dares to lead. That's how the name came through.
No, no.
That's exactly
Tell me a different story.
That's exactly how it is. So she dares to lead. It doesn't really have to be about me, but someone else, you know, could have dared to lead her whole life. Then now our focus is to empower, unlocking the potential of emerging female leaders. We're looking at Ghana and in Africa. And what we do now is to run mentorship programs. Last year we did 20 young ladies who are graduating at the conference this Saturday. And this year, we opened up applications. We had over 100 applicants. We have selected, they went through interview processes. We have selected them, and we are going to do 50 or 60 this year. Aside that, we have the annual leadership convening, that's Dare to Lead conference, and the promotion of female participation in STEM, and the community engagement, where we are still going to identify different communities that need some support in different areas, and then we put ourselves together and help. So that is where she dares to lead us now.
Can we just end the show, please, so that I can... I say you guys have heard what you want to hear, so can we just go? I think this is a phenomenal story. I personally take interest in this because there are... similar stories, like you rightly said. There's so many women who are daring to lead, but who are they looking up to? What is their story that validates their story? You know, sometimes when you're going through certain phases, it's almost as if you're the only person going through it. You'll be broken now, you'll be struggling to do something. You will be losing elections and you'll be thinking, oh, is it just
I'm
me?
a loser.
Why am I the only one losing elections? Everybody goes and wins. And then you make it either a female thing or an individual thing. Whereas you have loads of women who might have gone through that phase who you could learn a thing from. Because again, one of the things I noticed about your conversation was that what made you lose, you used it as a tool to teach other people so they don't make same mistakes. So that's a wonderful thing. But let's talk again about She Dares to Lead conference, where Dare to Lead, right? Dare to Lead conference. So I found it very interesting when the whole name of the NGO is She. Are you focusing on women only?
So the conference, the idea is to hold a conference for women. We go through our database with the registration and we see a good number of men who have registered. Somebody met me in church and said, Nhyira, I know you said the conference is for women, but I'm coming. And I said, okay. At this point, I cannot sack you. Just come. We've seen a good number of men coming through, but the focus is still on female. Because at the end of the day, female participation in leadership, politics, even corporate world is still low. The research has proven that our participation is still low. And we are usually the most vulnerable group when it comes to politics. You see a woman aspiring to be a politician, and you see all types of attacks that come from different angles at the woman, sometimes not even on the ability of her performance or something, just because she's a woman. And I don't subscribe to a woman being treated that way because she's a woman, a disability, with all due respect.
Yes.
Give me the job because I can do it. Don't give it to me because I am a woman.
Yes.
You know, but even in that sense, there's still a lot of support that the women need. Sometimes when you engage some of the ladies on the university campuses who wants to be leaders, they go through hell. People want to support your campaign, but they want to have something to do with you. People want to vote for you, students, your colleague student, but they want to touch you. And that is so.
Wait a minute.
Exactly.
This is happening.
I had an experience. I entered a boys' dormitory hostel to go and campaign. And then someone just saw me on top of his bed. I was just standing there vibing with the boys and everything. So I usually say that when I enter a place, I want to act like I'm one of you. So I go there, I'm like, yo, Charlie, what's up? We vibe. And the guy is like, oh, she's the Insha lady. Charlie, you the BO. Hey, you said you want to be Wukom. I said, yes. Have you got what it takes to be a Wukom? I said, obviously. I said, Wukom, they'll say me to be Mia back home. You know, very profane. I'm like, okay, no. That guy didn't vote for me. Almost everybody in the room didn't vote for me just because they thought I was. Then they tag you as, oh, this one is proud. She's arrogant. Just because you stand your grounds. But how many people can stand their grounds at that level? And so they see people like Mrs. Joyce Bowell-Motag doing well, and they idolize her. They want to be like her. But what has she gone through? What does she have to teach you to know that regardless of what you are looking for, where you want to be, there are principles that you need to stand by. And that is what we are looking at doing. You know, it just has to be done, and somebody has to do it.
So I was going to ask you a question. I don't know if it's still valid based on the story you just told me, but I also feel like even we as women, and I keep saying this on this platform, that even we as women haven't fully justified our inclusion in big conversations. Because you'd see, and I don't have statistics to it, but every single woman I have seen come forward to lead, especially in this country, has faced attacks. But also, there are some certain things that are just unpardonable. We are running the men out of business because we want them to know that you have to do this thing right, because we are coming to do it right. But then you now see women in politics, women in leadership, and they are doing it just the way the men are doing it. Corruption here and there, conversations that do not you know, bring the woman out, push the agenda. Let me put it that way. Thank you so much for that word. So again, men will be like, okay, well, why then should we include women if we're going to be hearing the same stories?
Right. I'd say it's a very delicate situation and sad, because somebody asked me a question and said, look within your heart and tell me if this is the path you really want to go. I sat down for a minute and I said, look, there are people who know that this is what I feel like doing. And there are others who are made for it. I am made for it.
Right.
And so being made for it, what are my objectives? What do I stand for? If I get there, would it change me? Would I be in position and still be able to say, this is wrong, regardless of whether I lose my seat or not?
True.
There are a few women in parliament who maintain that stance. They go into decision-making rooms, or offers are put on their tables, and they're like, no, this is wrong. And you still find a few who, but sometimes it's just the pressure that comes with the environment, the terrain. Politics is interesting, and it's dicey. You find yourself in a place where if you are not strong enough to stand by the principles that you've guided yourself with, you lose yourself, and you succumb to the pressures that come for you to do certain things. And so the conversation about women getting in and doing things exactly as the men are doing, it's not all of them. But immediately one person does, it is generalized. And that is wrong. Because you need to be able to appreciate the people that stand for what is right. And you need to be able to tell it that this person is this. But again, it boils out to we coming together to say that, look, if we are fighting for equality, we are fighting for a place on the table, we need to be there and people need to know that we are here to do it and do it right, like you said.
Right.
We shouldn't get there and people said, we said it. Exactly. Then where is the impact?
Right.
Where is the door you are opening for someone else to come through?
Right.
There are instances where you have people contesting for SRC positions in different universities. And then you hear that, oh, when this person became SRC, they did this, they did that, they did that. And so for this school, my school, for instance, Accra Technical University, there's this story of a female who messed up as an SRC president, and since then there's never been a female SRC president.
Right. So you
just
see,
because exactly, just
it's
because
not the role for every other woman.
Just because one person messed up, but the guys who have taken over after her are doing the worst times 10 of what she may have done.
So again, we're still having a conversation of not equal opportunities are given women just because one. I get where you're coming from.
So the conversation is tailored to suit a certain group. But again, I would advocate that we throw more light on those that are standing for what is right.
And the more we amplify that conversation,
the more it becomes normal in society. So you get into office and you know that, look, I have to do it and do it well, because someone else might want to come through the same door and I will shut it if I don't behave well.
Absolutely.
And so you have your head properly screwed on and then you get it done right.
Okay, so you all see what you're going to be experiencing on Saturday, the 1st of March. But let's get into the Dare to Lead conference. Charlie, your flyer is Rachel.
Thank you. I
see from the top to the bottom is all women and men of substance. I see the men, and if I didn't see Kwame Opoku there, I would be shocked, because he's one that advocates for women leadership a lot. I've seen Ira Adams. I told people on this platform that my new favorite person on television is Ira Adams, and then Edward Asari. These are very few men on it, but I see very rich, a very rich blend of speakers. What time is it happening? Where is it happening? And how do we participate?
Right, it's happening on the 1st of March at University of Ghana, ISE Annex Main Auditorium. When you drive in front of the University of Ghana Law School, School of Law, the next is the School of Engineering. You turn left, and then the ISE Annex is just on your right. At 9 a.m. sharp. And we are anticipating that the numbers will go overboard, so it's good for people to come in early and grab their seats.
Okay. I'm going to be there, so please make sure to come. MX24, of course, is on there to be a part of this wonderful initiative. Any other avenues to connect with you if you want to support, if you want to come on board to bring a group or something like that? Any of those opportunities are available?
Yes. We have definitely those opportunities are available. You can reach out to us on Instagram, on Facebook, through our email. Our social media handles are on the flyers. Instagram at She Dares to Lead __ on Facebook as She Dares to Lead number 2.
The number 2.
And then LinkedIn as She Dares to Lead, as in properly spelled TO. And you can also reach us on 0545456359, and we can have a conversation about partnership, sponsorship, and all of that.
Yes. We still need support to push this agenda. So please, I'm very excited about this event, and we're going to be seeing you at 9 a.m., not African time or GA.
No, this is 9 a.m.
Not Ghana man time.
White
9
man time.
It's 9 a.m. 9 a.m. like actual 9 a.m. on Saturday, the 1st of March. ISE Annex Main Auditorium, University of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, in fact, for my ladies, this is an opportunity to meet women of substance. I always say that progressive women are who we're trying to have conversations with. We're trying to get women in the room that would help us push the agenda of feminism the right way, okay? All right, I told you I'm not a feminist. I'm just saying, like, let's include all of us in the conversation too. So we want to do this thing right. And Nhyira, about you don't live in Ghana for now, but you have been able to bring yourself all the way here to do this on the, I'm saying on the night, on the day. What are you looking at seeing on the day finally before we wrap up this conversation?
Well, somebody called me. You know, 3 of my classmates called me from abroad.
Okay.
And they said, Anita, we're just calling to make sure you're fine. Are you okay? And I said, yes. I said, you're missing a lot of classes. I said, yes. So you guys should learn. So when I come, you teach me.
Okay.
We laughed about it, but again, it just pricked me that I'm in my final semester, doing 7 courses, my thesis, writing a state exams, and I have abandoned that for 3 weeks to come and do this. That tells you the passion, the interest, the desire that I personally have towards this. I'm expecting that on the day, somebody's life will be touched. Someone will get an ignition of hope in them. The participants coming will have a reason to dare to lead and to dare to live. Before you lead, you have to first live. You have to be alive. And so regardless of whatever circumstances that anybody finds themselves in, they're able to make it to dare to lead. Here are speakers. Pick a lesson or two that will change their lives, turn their lives around. And personally, this is more of God showing me that he can do anything he decides to do. He doesn't need anybody's approval. And being able to gather all these influential people on one program for a day just speaks of how God is faithful. So I'm expecting that truly on Saturday, the people coming will have a glint of hope to hold on to.
I love that. I don't think you should add anything else. Please hold it right
done.
there. Yeah, please. Anytime I listen to you, I get very I get in touch with myself every time I listen to her, because I need to do that to be able to hear her. She speaks from a very deep place, and I'm amazed that a very young woman like this is able to do that. I wish you all the very best. At MX24, what we do is support initiatives of young people that are very impactful, and we are excited to be a part of this. So we're going to be there. We're going to be sharing on our social media platforms what is happening there. Just don't miss it. Don't be told of it. Be a part of this one, and make sure to be a part of anything she does to lead is doing. So join them on social media. Let's do that as well. Again, see you on Saturday. Saturday is the packed day. So in the morning, we're going to Dare to Lead conference. In the evening, we're going to Ghana FinTech Awards. So you people, I'm going everywhere with you this weekend. Let's have a good time. But thank you, Nhyira. Thank you so much for coming.
I think before we go, I'd just like to appreciate our sponsors, our partners, media partners, and most especially to my father, Prophet Bernardo Definition. Thank you. That's my camera, right? Thank you.
This is your camera, yeah. This is your camera.
Thank you so much. God bless you, Daddy. God bless you. He's been so supportive. Yes. And there are days I would call and I'm like, I don't think this can come on. I'm scared. He said, you don't know what God is doing. Yeah. All you need to do is to take the first step, and God will do the rest. Yeah. And I have lived with those words, and today I'm seeing the results, and I'm just grateful. God bless you so much. From there, we'd like to thank Mr. Kojo Jones Foundation. They've been also very supportive. Model Commonwealth Summit, they've been extra supportive. Unilever Ghana, Hammond Brands Africa, SEO Africa, Alice Stockwell, Trillium, Jibu, 305 Bar and Restaurants, sponsoring us with food. God bless Akosia. Media partners, MX24.
We this.
Joy Prime, Channel 247, Metro TV, Panama TV, YFM Radio University. We are so much grateful. Thank you so much, my team.
The best.
They've been amazing. They've been amazing. And I want you all to know that I truly, truly, truly appreciate you. And the people on my WhatsApp contact list, they've been through a lot. And I appreciate you. I apologize. After this conference, the broadcast will end.
Thank you Thank you so much for coming through. It's always an honor to have a conversation with you, and I'm glad that we're able to do this on air, and I'm glad that it's going to be a successful. We're doing this together as a family, and like I said, MX24, we're excited to support anything that the youth is doing that is impactful. Again, my name is Miriam Uduak-Mensah. This has been the AM Club on MX24. It's a big day. The president is addressing the nation today. Exactly at this very time, 10 a.m., the president takes up the podium and tells us the state of the nation. Stay right here on MX24, because we're going to be updating you on every single conversation that is had, and pick your thoughts on what he's saying. We're with the president on 120 days social. I'm going to update you on that. Make sure to stay right here on all our social media platforms. It's MX24GH on all social media platforms. See you again tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on MX24. See you.
Kalu.